just out on my first run in Laos. We'll see how this goes, and we'll see if I learn whether it should be called Laos or Laos. The locals and people in Vietnam tend to refer to it as Laos, but all the Brits and US people tend to call it Laos. So I don't know which to choose, but my sister calls it Laos, so I'll stick with my sister because she's the linguist. Running through a bit of a market here. Lots of clothes on sale, mobile phone, tat, things like that. Very much feels like a regular person's market, not a tourist market. Quite nice though. Might come back here later this evening, see what it's like. Fried chicken. I do like fried chicken. And I just had somebody mocking me there, one of the street people, just sort of poking fun at my running. Didn't quite know how to respond to that one, but I had to keep running anyway. I don't think I was used to the mad runners here as Vietnam, that's for certain. Getting a lot more strange looks at the moment. Just came up the steps to show you this fella up here. So a statue there, and the statue's overlooking the river. And on the other side of the river is Thailand. So yeah, I don't know who that man is. I'll put a message on the screen or something for you to find out. But all the text about him on the signs is in Laotian language, which I can't read. Where am I going? This way. Oh, there's a lake. A little bit of a lake here. All rubbish. No way out. It's not where I'm going. I must be going somewhere else, but I don't know where. So there. I've gone off course. Aha, I go that way. We'll get there. The presidential palace behind me, and there's some other thing there. I don't know what that is, and I realise I don't know what that is going to be my answer to a lot of the things I see here in Laos. And well, that's because I'm ignorant and I don't know this stuff, but I feel like I should. I wish I'd learned more things about the places I visit, but my hope is always that I'll find out while I'm here, and it never quite works out. Like, I'm running towards a victory monument, but victory for what? Who won? When? I have no idea. It's just a victory monument. Big old arch. So, very Southeast Asian, but also with the street and everything, feels a little bit French as well. You won't be able to see it, but there's a little tower that way, just sort of an iron mast of some sort. Not the Eiffel Tower. That would make it too French. There's the tower behind me, and there's another building over there which looks quite pretty, but fountain switched off, which is a shame. Back in my old brook for a few days. Nice little lake, little park, exercise equipment, play area, all the stuff you want. Isn't that cool? Let's get a bit closer. I should be running, but I keep stopping to look at pieces like this. Just peaceful temples and lots of beautiful things to see. Another little night market here at the temple. Just all setting up now. Ooh, there's the Buddha. Let's go and say hello. All the cosmopolitan bit here. There's a lake I'm hopefully running around in a minute. Well, that changed quickly, didn't it? Let's see where I end up. So I'm in this little area that's really quiet and nice to run on. It seems to be the place everybody's coming out to do activities, cycling, running. Very strange, but kind of cool. This is some big old water ride. First that you go down on rafts. Could be fun. For some reason my Garmin has decided that 146 is my zone 1 pace. I can assure you this is not the case. So I'm either not at 146 or I'm not in zone 1. I've really been struggling with the training recently, and I'll probably talk about that more at the end of this run. But this is my first run where I've felt okay, been able to, well, I'm not going fast, but I've been able to keep the pace. 7-minute kilometers, nice and easy. Gone past 10k for the first time in 10 days. Feeling okay, especially as I haven't eaten really yet today. Yeah, I've had a grim old time of it recently, so glad to be back a little bit, feeling a lot more positive. Definitely not where I should be. Not lost, just not where I should be. I just don't know how I get to where I should be, which is a bit more frustrating. Well, I found my route and it looks like this. I have given myself an exciting evening. Very rural, very quickly out here. I'm only a few kilometres from the big shopping centre in the centre of the city. You know, can't be more than 5k away, and yet the ground is like this. Sights I see, there's a power station. Didn't expect to be running past a big substation today. That's a cool little building. The tape cassette. I'd say cassette tape, but hey ho, still very cool. I like that. Would be an embarrassing thing to run down. Whoops. 3 kilometers left. This is going incredibly slowly, but at least I'm getting the distance done, which makes a change compared to recently. This stretch feels like it's going on forever at the moment. It's only a couple of kilometers. Not the nicest running, but at least there's a pavement that I can't see. Well, that's my first half marathon done in a while. It's been a hard 10 days really. I'd done some good running in Sapa, not huge mileage but a lot of up and down, and the altitude was a bit different, getting used to that. Then 130 kilometer week in Hanoi, that was good. I'd aimed for 100 miles, but I can live with 130 kilometers, and the aim was then to push on, and I didn't. I don't know whether it was changing to low drop trainers and trying to keep up with the mileage, whether it's just not enough strength training, what it was, but my calves locked up. I couldn't run. 5 kilometers was hard work. I was dropping down to 8-minute kilometers and just exhausted. Fatigue set in. I just broke, and it's taken me 10 days to get out and do this. Just haven't got going, and it's been a bit stressful because I know that I'm going to deal with problems in Japan, and I know there's going to be times when my body's not up to it and I've just got to work through it. But just having this sudden not being able to run, it was like I'd forgotten how to run. My calves were tight. I'd hit the floor, my feet would hit the floor, and it was like my calves weren't doing any work. They just sort of, my feet would slam against the ground and there would be no spring in my step at all. And it was hard, you know. It's not bad injury, it's not something that is catastrophic. It was just worrying because I didn't know how I'd recover, when I'd come back from it, any of that sort of stuff. And it was like, this is affecting my training. Am I going to be able to make it to Japan? What happens if this happens in Japan? And at least with a sort of a big injury or an obvious injury, you know exactly what's caused it, how to fix it. And I knew that the calves were probably down to the shoes, but the corresponding fatigue has just come out of nowhere, it feels like, and I'm drained and I'm ready for bed now, but better get some food, and I need to make my training a bit more sustainable because right now I'm knackered. But on the bright side, today was a really good run. It wasn't fast, the last 3 or 4 kilometers were hard, but I haven't eaten properly today and that's not going to have helped. And I'm tired anyway, so swings and roundabouts, but I'm really pleased. It felt, for the first time in 10 days, I was back in the groove. I'm just waffling away and Joy's going to have to cut some of this into some sensible thing. Speaking of Joy, I'm going to go and find her now. Right, see you later. Here I am at the top of the Laos version of the Arc de Triomphe, and it was built, I found out now, to celebrate the Laos independence of France. So they decided to build essentially a Laos version of the Arc de Triomphe to celebrate getting rid of the French. Interesting choice, quite enjoy it. Aha.